To music,
Yeah.
psychedelic music. What are we listening to?
Like regional Hindi,
Oh, like electronic music and Hindi music, like
Hindi.
fusion. Oh,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
fusion.
Like,
like Jiglas dance.
oh, okay.
The song that we listen to Arjit Singh.
Oh, okay, 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 gotcha. Cool, cool. Well, hey, it's nice meeting you guys. Thank you so much for the introductions. So, I've been doing design for a really long time. I stopped front end development. You look at my code, probably a 3-year-old will write better code than me. So, my focus is a lot of the time has been on requirements gathering and actually doing the design. So I've been doing this for a while. My first business, I was selling cosmetics. I did an e-commerce shop, grew it to several $1 million a year, and then now we're doing marketing and software development, web development, and in this entire process and journey, I found out that it's really important to gather good requirements, because and I don't do a good job at this as well as some others do, but I try to get there by asking the right questions. So as developers and designers, whatever you do, even a back-end engineer or a QA tester, my belief is that you should always ask why. Why are we doing this? Why is it happening this way? And I think you should always question things, but there's the right way to actually ask questions. And there's a process called design thinking. Does anyone know what design thinking is? Design thinking? So design thinking, it was actually created by IDEO. IDEO is a very, very famous agency that develop physical products and digital products. And they would do really cool experimental projects like, how can we get people to purchase more items and put items in the cart at a supermarket? And they would actually build the entire flow of a supermarket and also the shopping cart and the entire total experience. So that's such a broad topic. And as designers and as developers and creators, we need to think, how may we, is the question that we try to ask, right? How may we get people to buy more grocery, to shop more? And this is a key question. And for designers and for creators and developers, we chose this profession because we wanted to build something. I'm sure you guys came to this profession not only for the money. Maybe for the money, some of you guys.
To some extent.
Yeah, some extent. We all have to make a living, right? But a lot of it is because our creativity, our minds, they want to do something and create something for the world. So the question that we always ask when we do products, new website development, especially what I try to think is, what is it that they're really asking for? So everyone should question this. And then from there, we have to derive a problem statement. So if you look this up, design thinking, it's by IDEO. A lot of American colleges and Western colleges have adopted this. A lot of Fortune 100s have adopted this. SAP, Disney, oh God, you could name all of them probably. They've adopted this. So a lot of the Fortune 100 started, a lot of the American schools like Stanford, MIT, a lot of these really prestigious colleges have started adopting these about 10 years ago because it really works to build product. And so you start off with this, but there's always a portion of research. And we call this empathizing. Yep, empathize. So it always has to start off with research. And then after you empathize, you develop a problem statement. So what is the problem? And we all know that if we define the problem statement, wrong, we're going to get a wrong answer. So this is a really important thing to do. But in order to derive a problem statement, the correct problem statement, we need to do this, right? So in my mind, when I'm developing or designing or creating a product, I'm always thinking, what the fuck are we solving? Like it's really important. And what is our client really wanting? So if we're doing a e-commerce store, what do people want? Someone want to take a guess?
Good products.
More orders.
More offers.
More orders,
More
okay.
customers,
More customers,
Purchase.
more
Money-
purchasing.
money is involved.
Yeah. So it's all monetary, money related. So we know right away that it's this. Then, if it is this, we know for a fact what can we control. There are variables that we can control. If we're not doing the marketing, we can control the landing pages if we're developing them. We could control the checkout flow, and we could always make sure that we're doing research with our customers, or if we can't do research because we don't have data, we have to go look at previous papers, right? Examples that have been created previously. So it's really important to empathize and make sure that we're actually getting data one way or another. So there's a lot of statistics out there. And if, as you guys know, Amazon, huge. They're committing code 200,000 times a day. 200,000 times a day. They're A/B testing and committing. They're changing something every freaking minute, more than once a minute, bunch of different teams. So when they're doing that, that means that they're testing with data, getting validation, and then making a decision to change something. That's why their conversion rates are, do you guys know what Amazon's conversion rates are? Any of you guys? 25%. 25. 25.
In US.
In the, it's pretty much worldwide.
Okay.
So the United States typically does most of the testing and all the adoption, and then the countries follow. So, but with that said, right? Like if we're trying to make money, the part that we can actually control, we need to really figure out how can we increase the sales? What is it? And with A/B testing or with our previous knowledge of working on websites, we would then from there figure out how do we place items, how do we place images, how do we place the header, what is the mobile experience like? And that's how we're typically designing. So empathize, problem statement, and I think is yeah, it's actually I don't know what the right terms are. It's been a long time since I've done design thinking, but it's a designing actually right here. So you design it together. Front-end developer, back-end developer, QA tester, product owner, product manager, designer, all come together and say, all right, this is what we want to do. Because design needs to be functional. It needs to work so that it increases sales. And when we're thinking about paths, what are the paths that the customer journey, what is the user really thinking about? And this could be an application. What is the onboarding experience? How do people purchase items? What happens when people leave the cart or leave an item in the cart? What happens when people delete certain things? Can they get back to the previous state? You know, a lot of these things are happening in my mind. And the development team is really good at this. You know, thinking about edge cases, right? You guys are all good at this. So that's why I really recommend working together, but really just sketching it. And then from there, what you do is you test it, right? So you actually have to do UAT, user acceptance testing and usability testing. It can be easy, right? If you don't have anyone, you want to at least run through some data through what you've done. A lot of the times, when you're working with clients, smaller clients, not a lot of budget, they don't have budget. Their budgets are peanut size, but you have to try to push and say, hey, I'm thinking about this. I would highly recommend that we actually get some testing going. Make sure that it works. Is it okay if I run some Facebook ads for you? Can we do can we send some traffic just as a test? $100. Let's try it out. Are you opposed to that? They're gonna say no. Let's do it. So you do that test, and you're gonna find a lot of issues. There's always issues. So if the QA team isn't doing the testing, or if the team's not doing testing, you always want to make sure someone's doing the testing. And I think this is a part that I always lack myself, because I don't have a lot of say with client budget, marketing budget, or if it is a software, it's a little bit easier. We're not writing automated scripts, right? What we're doing is we're just manually testing certain things. But we also want to have our family, friends, people who we know to actually go to the website and test it out. Hey, give us your honest opinion. Be candid. If it sucks, tell me it sucks. I'll change it. So that's what it really is. And typically there's an iteration process because something goes wrong, or this is the agile practice, right? We test right here. We develop this, right? I'm sorry, this is prototype. So let me just put prototype. You could code it. It could be a clickable prototype in Figma or XD or whatever it is, and then you just use it. Usually collect data, and then from there, what you do is that you're gonna deploy code, actual code, and then it goes live, and then you keep on doing this because there's gonna be a problem. How can we make more money? This is always gonna be recurring. If you don't A/B test, your conversion rates will continuously go down. In 6 months, it'll go down to about half. So if you guys are developing a website, a shopping cart experience, want to make sure that there's always some sort of testing that happens. And RP, that's a package that you could sell. Tell them just exactly what I told them. Hey, by the way, I highly recommend that we do A/B testing. And you guys could add that to your package. Optimizely, VWO, other platforms, and just do that. And that could be a monthly recurring revenue service. So I think some things like this, it will add value, but the way I'm thinking about everything is we need to really empathize and ask the right questions. So how may we, and what's really cool is that, and this is what I learned in Disney when I was working at Disney, is that you ask yourself, what if? What if we did this? That's the fun part, right? On designing and creating, you have to ask, what if? What if we did this differently? So that's where we solve the problems in a creative manner, but it's just with design. So I'm going to stop right here. Any questions?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what happens mostly with our projects is
Mm-hmm.
we usually don't get to interact with our clients, or they don't have time to discuss their problems
Mm-hmm.
at times. And it's not with the most of the projects, but we have seen these patterns where client is usually not available to communicate well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's gets us to a problem where we have to evaluate and plan things from our own perspective of how it should function,
Mm-hmm.
right? How can we probably plan, think about a process that could convert more in terms of revenue, maybe, or it's hard to reach the level which we are thinking
Mm-hmm.
or probably discussing right here without getting the proper inputs from the clients in terms of what the product is, how you are planning to sell it, what your target audience is.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
When there's absence of those kind of data points, how can we plan a design?
So we have the expertise. They don't have something we don't have. And that is our development, our design capabilities that we have. And what the client wants, their ultimate vision, is in their head. And we need to extrapolate that. And extrapolating that information means that we need to ask questions. So how I've typically done it is have a standardized sheet, 10 questions, 15 questions, tell them it'll take about an hour or two. We could do it in a meeting together, or you could fill this out on your own time. We need this, and if we don't get it, you're not going to get the conversions. Or this will allow us to do a much better job to get you more sales. So always go back to the problem statement. What is it that they really want? And then tell them that, right?
Yeah, but with that, most of the projects that we get are like, hey, I'm looking for a new skin for my site, or I'm looking for a fresh designs for my product. And I don't know much about it, like what do I really want? How should we take designs like that?
So
you are on your own.
and that's with a creative director role person, right? That if we're talking branding, if we're talking a lot more design specific things, and the direction and strategy of the creatives, it'll be trial and error. So this process will work for product development, for web applications, for websites, things like that. For the creative direction, it's a lot more empathetic in terms of getting the clients to share with you images.
Yeah, but I think there should be some kind of structures when you are at a box
Yep.
of a complete
All right.
incomplete information.
Yeah. Is it okay if I erase this? Yeah. Okay.
Because I think that's what they might be facing a lot of their projects.
All right. So let's do this.
Because if you have information, of course you can think, you can ideate, you can always plan, you can always discuss.
Okay. So requirement gathering.
We have a mandate here. Like,
Do you guys have a template?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
So where we have written down all the questions that we
Okay.
see in terms of like talking about their brand, talking about their audience, talking about the product, talking about the preferences. We have their document. And now we are pushing our business side to probably fill it by yourself if you're not getting those details from client.
Yeah. So I would highly recommend every individual here to learn one ability that will increase your revenue or your salary. And that is to be able to talk to customers. You're doing sales. Everyone is doing sales. Your job is not only doing front-end development or design. Especially for designers in here, the skill that I have of public speaking, I actually do this professionally with clients, big name clients, the way I'm running this with you guys right now. And what's really important is to have that ability to get people to listen to you and then extrapolate information, right? And when you send over a template, hey, I need this, there's gonna be a lot of misunderstanding between your development team or your creative team and the actual client. And bridging that gap is so hard. So have you guys done any branding experience or branding work recently?
Yes, they started.
Other than UX work, have you guys done any work that requires creative direction or creative strategy?
Stone Lab?
Yeah.
They're working on it.
Okay, you're working on it. So tell me your experience. I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but
Yeah, so basically, I'm just connecting the data about like what the what exactly Stone them do, what are their target users,
Okay.
how do like what exactly they are trying to sell, and how they generate revenue, what is their cost structure.
Mhm.
So these are the things that I am just trying to do.
Okay. Is this a branding exercise? What is the product that you guys are developing?
So
Is
what,
it-
let me brief you what's really happening here. So there's a brand called Stone.
Mm-hmm.
They sell
Lamps?
no, not marbles. So these like marbles.
Oh, marbles,
marble
okay.
ceilings.
Yeah.
They kind of create facade that you see.
Okay, okay,
in the
okay.
outer structure of the building
Yep.
with stones.
Nice. All right.
Okay, so this is their core product,
Mm-hmm.
and we have been asked to redesign the entire site.
Mm. Okay.
And we were thinking that how should we probably go ahead in terms of what we want to talk about brand. How do you want to talk about brand? What kind of messaging that we wanna deliver through our design?
Okay.
With probably what kind of typography we'll be using
Mhm.
that could reflect their personality.
The facade stones.
Yeah. So we were thinking about sharpness because they're into cutting of things. So I was thinking probably we can do some
Yeah.
sharp fonts.
I love that. So that's an idea, right? So some of the process with design
Also
thinking.
planning
Yeah.
to build their own patterns, like
Okay.
pattern which they can use.
Temp-
We don't have any kind of design.
Like page
Label.
templates.
Yeah.
Page
The
templates.
Patterns, right? Patterns which we can use, like a background of few sections, just to showcase any kind of philosophy.
They're like
laws,
business, credo, things like that.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So there's a few ways of going about that. So it sounds like you guys have already done your research, and requirements gathering is market research. And you, by the way, UX designers, UX research is part of market research. So you guys are doing marketing in a sense. So I want you guys to remember that because it's important. Marketing is helping grow the company to do more sales. And with a lot of the projects that Webninjaz take on, a lot of it is related to increasing sales. So I want you guys to always think in the back of your head, how can I increase the sales of my customers' business? And you got to think about different customer journeys, obviously. In this case, it sounds like it's a direct-to-consumer business. It's not B2B.
It is B2B mostly, but they are also
Okay.
selling B2 direct to consumers.
Okay.
Because in India, most of house owners also plan their facades with the laminates on it.
Okay, gotcha. So then there's two different customer journeys. And you have to think about that, right? But with the branding, I haven't done a lot of branding anymore. I used to, but it's making sure that you have all their design materials that they've previously created, and then you also get the future vision. So this is a sales concept that I learned. I call this my heaven and hell, or yeah, Swarg.
Yeah.
I don't know what hell is.
Nark.
How do you spell that?
Nark.
Naruk. Like Naruk? Naruk?
NAR.
All right, hold on. I gotta put that in my Hindi notebook. All right, got it. So let's talk about this, right? This is and with requirements gathering, I always do this. You want to get the current situation. What are they going through right now? What is the pain point? Man, my branding sucks. People don't know me. People don't know me means that it could mean a lot of different things. You know, if the market share, like, let's say, 70% of the market, or let's say 75% of the market is taken by your competitor, and you're joining new, yeah, you're not gonna have a lot of visibility. So what's the real problem? You have to drill down into this, right? So you guys all know agile development practices.
They practice it, but they don't know it.
Okay, cool. So agile was a process developed by Toyota. Okay, it was called different things, but there's a concept called Kaizen in Toyota, and what it is that you continuously improve. So when we talk about the CI/CD process in software development, that's exactly what agile is. And so, why am I talking about that? Sorry, I'm just joking. No, so agile, right, and continuously improving. You have to keep on drilling down to the why. It's a question. It really comes down to the question. And what that means is that you ask why 5 times, and then you'll get to the bottom of it. So the problem is, I don't have any visibility. All right, we're gonna ask why. All right, someone tell me the answer. Why do I not have visibility? Someone, whatever, it could be whatever.
I don't have a budget.
I don't have a budget, okay.
That's the bigger error.
Okay, I don't have budget.
I
Okay,
have limited knowledge.
why? Okay, because I have limited knowledge.
Competition.
Okay. Whoa. We gotta. Yeah, competition is one of them. But why do I have limited knowledge? Is it limited knowledge of the market space? Is it limited knowledge of my business space? Or the industry? Did I start my business without knowing anything about my business? Right? That's a scary thing, but people do it. A lot of people do that. So you keep on doing this, and then you actually get to the bottom of it. Once you get to the bottom of it, and let's say it was a limited knowledge, right? That is the problem. We're not going to ask why. You know, it could be I failed school, right?
There could be endless possibilities here.
Yeah, it can. Okay, so that's a good point. So with the endless possibilities, it actually comes back to this. It's interesting. Try it next time. When you guys are problem solving, try this. It's pretty interesting.
So whenever you ask why, you probably come back to the same question that you asked initially.
You do. You're like, I don't have visibility. It's like, what the fuck, right? So yeah, just try it next time. Yeah, you guys could be drunk, you guys could be high, whatever you guys do on your spare time when you're taking a walk. Yeah, just try it out. It's kind of interesting. So let's say that this was the actual problem that we came down to, right? Limited knowledge. Then your company is positioned that in the market, in the space that you're in, as a brand that does not have knowledge. So with knowing that, how would you design the branding package? That's how we try to think. And it is a process. And these things I've learned throughout my career. So, but there is a process of creative development. And it's always asking the right question and then drilling down. So you want to always collect all the information like you did, right? And then you also want to continuously question why. And one of the things I would do is to make sure that you would gather, if you're doing visual design exercises, gather what they want. What is the hell that they're in, okay? Because limited knowledge, and it looks like, you know, maybe it was I don't have visibility, I don't have budget, I have limited knowledge, and the designs suck. Why does it suck, right? And then so you know that it's just all of this combined. There's a problem to solve. So you ask the client next, what does heaven look like to you? In 1 year, where do you want to be? Do you guys ask yourselves about your lives here? Like for me, I'm like, yeah, I want a six pack. I want to look like, you know, super macho. I wish I could grow taller. You know, not gonna happen, right? So only things that you could do, but you list out what heaven is. So what would this company want? Tell me.
Yeah,
What?
probably
Better visibility.
better visibility,
All right.
better sales. I think they want to sell the business and come out of it because they don't have the knowledge.
Because they have limited knowledge.
I think they should probably sell.
All right. Sell the business. All right. What else? In 1 year.
Yeah, probably they want to increase the market share. I think people can
Increase market share. Okay.
market share. People can recognize him. They know the brand name. What is it?
What is it? What is it? Is that what you said? Okay. What is it? That's a great one actually. What is it that the business does, right? Okay. Cool. So when you see this,
I think the business would probably want to wake up.
wake up,
Yeah.
children.
Just wake up.
All right.
Just wake up to the reality.
Okay.
That they are so they don't have a market share, they don't have a budget, they have limited knowledge.
Yeah, this is exactly. It's a wake up call. And you know what? In the sales calls, I always do this. So my job now is doing a lot of sales. So I always give them and we call this a moment of truth or come to Jesus moment. I know, are there any Christians here?
No.
No? All right, I'm going to talk shit then, okay? I'm not Christian either, but yeah, so come to Jesus moment means that, like, and I'm not talking shit actually. I'm just going to explain this a little bit. Is that it's that realization when you're, and it could be any religion, you don't have to be religious, but it's like, oh, what am I doing? But you have to deliver that to your clients. And I think RP does that pretty well, actually. I've heard of him in calls. He's savage. Definitely savage. So yeah, you have a really great, fearless leader right here that will let people know that, hey, look, we can't do that. And hey, by the way, because of these reasons. Did you recognize that you only have limited knowledge in a space that you should have a lot more knowledge? Yeah, I think I started this business because I want to make some money, but it's harder than I thought, blah, 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 blah. You have to make them realize, right? So with that said, I think the heaven is, and as a business, if we do that, if we do the come to Jesus moment, that's what we call it, they might not give you the project. So there's always a drawback, but you always have to do that at the end, and this actually happens in like creative requirements gathering, any type of requirements gathering too. Like and you want to sugarcoat it a little bit, right, with people, because if you say it with straight up, hey, your business sucks, they're gonna get very defensive. So you have to sugarcoat it. I've worked with a lot of Indians throughout my career. And you guys are really good at that. Yes, you guys have not hurt my feelings. For the past 15 or so years I've worked with Indians. Yes. And that's a great thing because Americans are the same way. They don't take criticism very hard. So, anyway, you would do that, but you want to also, once you get to hell and heaven, you start recognizing patterns on both sides, right? And typically, it is like, hey, I want more sales. And you do the why on this side, I want better visibility. Why? Because I want to increase market share. Why? Because I want to, because users don't, or because I want to sell the business, right? So if that's the ultimate goal, you know right away that creative direction, and I'm sorry, I know we're talking about creative direction and creative strategy. It might not even be creative direction that we need. Does that make sense? You shouldn't be offering creative direction to a business that's going to try to sell in a year. You're going to try to bump the profitability and increase their share, their revenue immediately. And the best way to do that, if it's a B2B business, it would be to go to LinkedIn, make connections, right? So, but let's say that this was a creative problem though. So once you get this, increasing market share so that you could sell business. In order to increase market share from a design perspective or from a development perspective, what would we need to do? What would you do? Hmm? You know it? All right, let's have someone else answer this. From a design or development perspective, how can we increase our market share? There's no right or wrong answer, by the way. You've heard me swear, curse, and talk about drugs and alcohol. So
I think probably to build a better product for them.
product, okay. Build better product.
Best user experience.
Okay. Better product. Okay.
Best user experience.
All right. Best UX. All right. Anything else?
I think probably we can run social media ads to
Okay. Social media ads.
to recognize.
I think we were talking about design.
Mm-hmm.
Increase market share.
We are talking about designs.
Okay. No, that's fine. No wrong answer. No, just mention it all. Anything else? Branding. Okay. Okay. So we got four. Let's start with this. User experience, advertisement, branding, product. And man, I can't spell English today.
It's not
You are right.
Yeah.
You must watch me, right?
Yeah. So, all right, what do we have? What's the commonality here, guys? So typically we
Good.
best and good, yeah, you got it. Okay. Product, okay.
Yeah.
So we need to make the product appealing, right? When we're running ads, we need to make it look so sexy that everyone's gonna want to click. They're gonna, stop scrolling. Holy cow! I gotta get that facade tile. And maybe it's a girl in a bikini, right? For the thumbnail, holding the tile. You never know. Something could work, but that is the creative direction. So, and I would try that, but I wouldn't for the website, right? Like we need to, what is the appeal that we want? And so typically, if they start doing this like hell, and probably one of it is, I don't have visibility, oh, my branding sucks, ask them, why does it suck? Why does your branding suck, if you don't mind me asking? And they'll start saying that, and then drill down. So what actually happened? Why is that? Drill down one more time. And then once you start drilling down, you're really going to get to the bottom of it. And you'll figure out that they don't like the bikini girl pic, right? They're going to tell you something. And you're going to be like, oh shit, that's what it is. And then you're going to pinpoint which design to do. And typically when you do this, on the heaven side, have them design something for you or select some designs. Hey, can you show me some competition websites that you like? What are the top 3 that you really like and why do you like it? Once you get that, your designs are going to be a lot more catered to what it is. In branding, there's a few more things that are required, which is actually writing the verbiage. So I do a lot of advertisement. I'm a marketer by heart. And so my verbiage will not work very well with branding because I would write something like, lose 7 pounds or 7 kilograms in 7 days without cutting carbs. Everyone would click that, right? But when you're actually doing branding, you can't brand it like that. The branding message is a little bit toned down. It needs to be more of an ethos. Like, what is the actual company trying to do? That's what branding is, and you got to spread that. So what's Nike's branding message? Yeah, what is the swoosh?
That's a logo.
Yeah, that's just the logo, but what's the message behind? Just
Okay.
do it. Yeah,
Let's
just do it, right? Yeah. And Nike is the god of speed? Was he a god of something, right? So that logo with the swoosh, that branding that they did is to show speed, to show agility, and just do it. Because it's a clothing company. You need to do something. And if you don't do it, you're gonna stay stationary. Nothing's gonna happen. It needs to be kinetic. It needs to be animated. It needs to move. So that's how you would get to the branding message, or the branding and the creativity part of the creation. So it's I'm not a very good brand marketer. I'll be very honest with you because I haven't done it in a long time. But when I used to do it, a lot of these questions would come from the heaven and hell. So, any questions here? And we can do some practices. Man. Okay. Yeah, so I would recommend, if you want an RP, this is for you, as leadership and management, I would do an exercise when I'm not here. See how it goes, record yourselves, get a bunch of sticky notes and create a facade problem, a fake problem, and actually go through this process. It's kind of fun. I run a lot of these workshops, and get everyone involved. Like maybe like a quarter of the people in here, so maybe like 7 people, and then do one, and then the next day do another, next day do another. Increase the knowledge within the office, and it'll really be a part of the company's culture.
Yeah, so we do this activity called NinjaTalk.
You do? You do it? Okay, cool.
We have a YouTube channel, and I
Nice.
upload those videos frequently. And I usually talk to them about how they can improve communication, how they can improve their self as an individual,
Mm-hmm.
and where they should focus on how, and probably try to break some kind of things which are restricting them to open up or probably think beyond their capacity. So try to break that things.
Without drugs.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Just making sure, because it is possible with substances. Okay.
Yeah, but why don't you give your feedback on
Yeah, any questions? You guys have any questions? I know this was a brain dump that I did, just me talking, so I hope this was helpful. Cool. Yeah. So you guys do practice this then?
Yeah.
Nice. Still having requirement gathering issues?
Yes.
I think it comes down to ownership and accountability at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I know there's some business analysts, right?
Problem, what we see is not unidimensional, it's multi-dimensional. We have this problem, but it is also associated with the kind of business we are into. Like, we have to take quick actions. We have to start on the project really quick. And there are multiple things running up parallelly.
Yeah, it's hard. I get it.
So sometimes we tend to skip things which are really important, which damage the entire process sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's just part of it.
So the design thinking process, how Google does it, is 5 days. They get everyone in a room, and like everyone gets sweaty and dirty and just start doing the problem solving. I know as a small company, it's hard to get that luxury. It's very hard. I've been able to do the design thinking process within about like 4 hours to 5 hours. So, but that is still 5 hours worth of 3 or 4 people getting together. So there is a resource that gets down.
I can do a lot of these activities which would be like very detail terms of design, or could be in terms of development, it could be in terms of management.
Mhm.
But we are still figuring out right ways to do it, because we have very little time because of these multiple projects with urgent deliveries.
Yeah, I think so. And I've seen a lot of product managers and like at different companies do expectation setting.
And
Yeah.
design possibilities of how we can engage team, how we can, what all we can do for their betterment.
So-
There's endless possibilities there. We are limited with time and resources.
So in your first onboarding of a client, ask the heaven question. When do you want this by? When is your ideal? And we always ask that, right?
Yeah, I think this is, they should, so Prashant usually, he just started his business journey,
Mhm.
and so Abhishek and Prashant usually focus on sales.
Yeah.
And I have been into talks with them about this, how they can probably gather better requirements and probably dig deeper into their needs.
Mm.
Actually get them talking about what they really want.
Yeah. So I'm going to challenge you as a leader, and everyone here is a leader as well. So within your own special niche, right? You guys are design leaders, development leaders. You guys have knowledge more than your clients or some other people that's out on the street. I would like to challenge you all to take on that role, because if everyone has that business mentality and speaks up, it'll be much easier to do requirement gathering. And a lot of times, like expectation setting, a business person or an analyst can, based on their experience, they could say something, but it could be completely off. Because you know, when you're doing story pointing in Agile, or if you're doing estimates, they could be off, completely off. When you open it up, it's like, what the fuck is this, right? And you're like, oh man, you know, we estimated way under, or we forgot to ask this one thing.
Yeah, this happened.
Yeah, we've had some conversations about this. So, but if everyone has that mentality and asks that, I think it would be good to have a dev lead in the conversation always, right? And then also a business analyst or someone who understands the business aspect of the projects. So that might require, but I wanna have you guys think, and I'm gonna leave this conversation with this one, problem statement. How can you guys collect requirements better as a team, as one team? So.
Yeah, so I think you have to speak up your mind, you have to share your thoughts. The problem here is they are hesitant to speak. So, in our previous talks, we have discussed that.
Mm.
So there's this saying that I have communicated them that सबसे बड़ा ये रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग? It's like a Hindi saying.
Hold on. That goes in my. Is that like a quote that needs to go into my Hindi dictionary? I don't have that one.
That is.
You're gonna have to text that to me.
That's an amazing quote.
Okay.
It's like a life-changing quote that I believe that could change life,
Mm-hmm.
just like that. So
Okay.
saying it again, सबसे बड़ा ये रोग.
You're gonna have to.
क्या कहेंगे?
You're gonna have to text it to me.
Okay. So
Sub-
I'll tell you what does it mean. Okay. Fear to speak.
Kya rog?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Yeah. So are you typing that?
Yeah.
What have you done?
No, I'm not gonna.
Okay, so it means that the biggest disease that you have
Mhm.
is what people would say about you.
Mm.
So, right, सबसे बड़ा ये रोग, the biggest disease, क्या कहेंगे लोग? What others would say about you.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
if you
definitely.
get out of it, like I don't fear
Yeah.
speaking. I don't care what other personality or other person thinks about me. Then you can come up with your ideas and you'll explore yourself in a horizon that you have never imagined.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think that's a great saying. But you guys know, as I mentioned, that you guys are all leaders in this company. Whether you guys like it or not, RP and your teammates are counting on you. If one person could just speak up, you know, and battle the disease, you'll help out your entire team and you'll get the project done quicker and getting it right. So I like to measure 3 times and cut once. That's what I like to do. And so you guys could all participate in some sort of activity to do that. And think of ways how you guys could collaborate. I think it's the ways of working as well as ways of gathering requirements. It's always a challenge. Every organization I've been at in my career, I run my own business, always a challenge. So I think it's a good problem that you guys are having. I don't think it's a problem that you guys can't solve. I'm sure you guys are much smarter than me, and you guys have a lot more experience than what I do. I'm seeing designs and developed products come out that are magnificent, and I really appreciate you guys when I work with you guys. And sometimes I'm very hard on you guys too, as I'm dealing with, where the fuck's my website? And I'm like, Sandeep, where the fuck's the website? At RP, what's going on? Middle of the night.
I think you haven't done this.
I have. That's how I feel like when I'm getting from the client.
The
I'm like,
words are different, but the emotion is
yeah, that's my emotion. So that's what and it's so hard, right? So if you guys could all, brainstorm together and think of ways to gather requirements together. Is it creating a little pod or a group?
Or at least you guys should probably take this as an inspiration.
Yeah.
To come up with better deliveries and good quality of products and become a better team, because you're listening directly from him, his experience, that sometimes he's also even frustrated with what is really happening.
Yeah,
and trust me, he does not say any kind of hard words to you at all.
if I have, I apologize right now. And I think that's, I don't have I'm sorry in my dictionary, so.
Maaf karna.
What, how do you say it?
Maaf karna.
Maaf karna.
Maaf.
M-A-F?
Yeah. Karna. K-A-R-N-A.
Maaf karna. All right, thank you. Well, that was it, Ban Jorge. So this is it. Yeah. All right. Any questions? Last comments? No? All good? All right, cool. Well, thank you so much for listening to me, guys. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you for this.